Hi, this is Shane Starr on a rainy day in Southern California at home. Going back to work for a day tomorrow before a couple more days off, and then it's on to 2026. So, a few things in today's video. First, I took what I think is going to be the final online test for a while. This is from Similar Minds. We already know the story with these tests. They always come out the same. I always get ISTJ. I always get Enneagram 1, 1 Wing 2, followed by, it looks like 5 and 6 vie for the second highest. And then down at the bottom is 8, 9, 3 and 4, kind of mid. I think I'm done with the whole typing myself in typology. I know I've thought that before, but it's like I've been around the block enough times to know what it is and what it's not. And it's going to depend on who you're talking to, what their system is, how they define the functions. It's all really about the definitions, and then the rest follows. And then it also comes down to people's first impression of you. That tends to stick. It's just like in real life when you meet people. If someone likes you, it takes a lot to turn that around. If someone doesn't like you, it's nearly impossible to turn that around. I think in typing it's the same way. When you see someone and you think of a type for them, I've rarely seen people publicly change their minds, more than once. And I think in terms of, one of the reasons I've been so shameless about my experience and my typing journey is because I know that underneath the surface, others are going through the same thing. They're just less likely to admit it. I've seen it in real time with many people who I won't mention here, but you guys know who they are and you know yourselves too. Okay? We've all had doubts. This isn't a strict science. One of the reasons why I like trait-based theories like the Big Five, and the only letter system that uses the Big Five is the infamous 16 Personalities website. Everyone says it's trash, but guess what? That's the one everyone else uses, except for the few practitioners here online doing it. The rest of the world either doesn't do any of it, or if they dabble in it at all, it's through that. Basically, that's what it is. And on that count, they define introversion and extroversion as how social are you or not. They don't get into the theoretical concepts of subject, object, and all that kind of stuff. It's real simple, all right? Sensing and intuition, are you more practical in the here and now, or are you pie in the sky type? Again, real simple. Feeling and thinking. They don't have the problem with FI and TI that all the experts have. And I say all of them to some degree, some worse than others. But, when the deeper you dive, the more difficult it is to make distinctions between categories that should be easily understood. Things like, when someone thinks for themselves and reasons within themselves that a course of action is best, that to the real world is thinking over feeling. That's why, feeling would be like, oh, how's this going to affect other people? How is this going to make my significant other feel, or my family or friends, or the community in general? If I'm doing it on my own, then you're thinking over feeling. Not so fast in socionics or even some MBTI theories where it's like, well, that could be strong FI doing that, and that's not thinking at all. You can still be a feeler. And then, it's a slippery slope, because then you get to the point where, we can't go by the traits. We have to go what's behind them. But nobody knows what's behind them. You can't get in someone's mind and tell what's in there. All we have are the traits. So if it looks like a rose and it smells like a rose, we can call it a rose. Are you social or not? Are you practical or not? Do you make decisions based on reasoning and what makes the most sense, or how people feel about it? And then last but not least, the whole JP thing that all of the socionics people trash and say MBTI is hopelessly wrong. There's a lot of things in the world that are hopelessly wrong, and yet we still go by them. Look at capitalism and socialism are still alive and well in spite of all of their critics. Same with MBTI. JP, you're either organized, structured, have a nice, clean space, minimal, no paperwork all over the place, or you're not very punctual, kind of late, forget where your keys are, that kind of thing. J and P, for all the criticisms people give it, that's the easiest one to distinguish. Now, on a simple system like that, you can size people up in 5 to 10 minutes if you see enough of them during that 5 to 10 minutes, and you pretty much get their type without having a bunch of back and forth. What gave me all the back and forth is all the different arguments, this can really mean that, and extroversion doesn't have anything to do with socialness at all. No, it just says that on 99% of everything you read here online. If all of that's BS, then I don't even know what we're doing. We should just call typology something else. If you keep it simple, it's easy. If you make it complicated, then it gets complicated. It's simple as that. So I'm pretty much done. And I'm going to use what I've learned about myself on this journey to continue to make personal improvements. Speaking of which, it's been a year since I did my New Year's resolutions, and I'm happy to say I nailed all of them. One of my resolutions, I still have my papers from last year when I did a video on my New Year's resolutions. I wanted to make sure I made it to church every single Sunday of the year, whether it's raining, whether I'm sick, whether I don't feel like it. And I've done that. There is one Sunday to go, but you can bet that I will be there, right? I also had a goal to watch this Catholic program, Bible in a Year, Catechism in a Year, and Rosary in a Year every single day for 2025. And so far, I've done that with a few days left. Finally, I had a goal to work out every single day. No days off, no breaks. And I have also done that. And all my other goals, with regards to my religion, work, family, health, finances, I've made it, so I had a good year. Really, another good thing about a good year is there is luck involved. Just like in sports, when a championship team wins the title, it can be through mostly a lot of hard work and preparation, but luck is involved, let's face it. And I was lucky that I had no accidents, no catastrophes at work. I had a really good year. I made some very detailed goals and plans, very specific on several New Year's resolutions. And I did what I had to do to review them and make sure that I took care of my business, and I did it. I hope that all of you had a good year too. I'm looking forward to making 2026 even better. I'm going to do a separate video about my New Year's resolutions for 2026. But they're going to be mostly maintenance, but I am going to do something new, and I will have more to say on that later. Anyway, that's all I have for today, and one more video for this year, and then it's peace out till 2026. Have a good one, guys.